Welcome. My name is Christopher Bailey, and I am an implementation consultant for Green Orbit, the intranet with everything built in. In this tutorial, you're going to learn four key points. Number one, you're going to learn how setting security permissions affect a website user's experience with the intranet site. Number two, you're going to learn how to edit existing components within your content pages. Number three, we're going to show you how to utilize your preview option when developing content. And number four, we're going to show you the various options that you have available to you when saving your content before publishing it to live. Are you ready? Let's get started. In today's tutorial, we're going to cover the following four topics. Number one, creating and adding folders. Number two, how to create a new page. Number three, adding components to a page. And finally, editing an existing page and saving the changes. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, what we want to do is access our library. So we click on library in our top toolbar, and then we see here there's a collection of folders that have already been created for our site. So what we want to do is we want to add a new folder. We will simply go to our editing toolbar here and we click on add. Now this is going to take us to a wizard where we're going to go about making our folder, creating the name and the URL. So let's go to our title and put in training. We're going to tab down, and as we tab down, you see that our URL for our folder is already created. And then we go down to our description. Now, this is an optional area typically used if we're just given a description to where we can describe the contents that are going to be in this folder. So for this example, let's just type in new hire content. Okay. Next, we have four steps remaining. Now, the unique thing about Green Orbit is these next four steps are optional. If I don't want to set security, if I don't want to mess with the folder view or add metadata, then I can simply click finish and my folder will actually be created. But let's just say for this example, we want to go through the steps. So we go next and we're going to come to our metadata fields. Now, if we have metadata that we would like to add to this particular folder to kind of help with categorization, then we would simply click on the plus sign here, and then we would select the uh, topics that we want to assign to this particular folder. So let's just put classification and let's just put departments. These are optional. You don't have to do it. It's just optional if you have metadata associated with your site. Click next. Here is where we would go through the process of selecting how we want our content to be displayed in the folder. Typically, most clients go with automatically detect, but of course, you have the options here to choose from. We're just going to go with automatically detect. Click next. And then here is where we have our security. Of course, we've talked about security in some of our previous sessions. If we want to change security, of course, we would select the individual or individuals and then go about changing the security. If we want to add, we can simply just begin typing and then the name of individuals that we want to add to this folder will populate. We just select them and then add, set up what their permissions are going to be. Let's make him a contributor and then we click to add. Then of course he is added here as a contributor and then we click next. When we get to this section, this is the owner section. Now this section is really just designed to help users understand who owns this folder and manages this folder. Okay. If you have a change in the organization, of course, it makes it extremely easy to reassign content because you know this individual was responsible for this content and now I'm going to change the ownership of it. Okay, simply just begin typing and then another person will populate whoever's in your organization and you can add them. Okay, click finish. And now we have officially added a folder. Now, when you add a folder, one thing I need to make mention of, number one, you're not going to have any contents in this folder. Number two, your editing toolbar is going to change because now you have these options that are available to you in this particular folder. Okay. Now, we've created our main folder. Now, if we wanted to create another folder inside of the training folder, we would simply go through the process again, but this time we would be going through that process within this folder. So we click on add here, and then we would then go and add our folder here. Notice you have a couple of other options, which is a template, page, and files. Of course, these will be covered in a later session, but right now we just want to click on folder. And then you see that you're going through the same process all over again. So let's just say that in this particular folder, we want to do new hire. Okay, tap down, see it's create our URL, content, which is here. Now, I don't want to go through these steps because we've already done it on the folder level. So this is the subfolder, and I just want to go ahead and just click finish. Now, what you will see is another folder that's entitled New Hire. But when I use my breadcrumb bar to go back to my training folder, I see here that I have my training folder and now I have a subfolder called New Hire. Okay? That's how you go about creating folders. Now that we have created our folder and I've shown you how to create a subfolder, now I want to take you through the process of adding a page, creating a new page. So here's how we do that. So right now we find ourselves in our training folder. Now remember I told you that the editing toolbar that you have here gives you several options. So if we click the drop down and we see here that we have the ability here to add a page. So now what I want to do, I want to click on this. Now when I click on this option here, it lets me know that no page template exists. Being that this is a new page, obviously you won't have a page template that's set up for it. Now, when we built your site, we gave you some default templates, as part of the site build. So in that regard, we would just go and select existing templates. Now you also have the ability that if you want to add a new template or create a new template, then you have that freedom to do so. But for the sake of this example, let's go ahead and select existing templates. Now this is going to take you to another page where you will actually go through the process of selecting the templates that you want. It is our recommendation that you select as many templates as you want because it gives you more options when you're working with your page. So in this regard, what we would do, we would select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to select all 5 templates here and we click select. Now this is going to take us back to our folder. Now it's not going to create our page yet because all we've done is just selected our templates that we're going to use for this particular folder. And you see here that we now have templates and it shows us all the templates that we have selected that we can use when creating a page. So let's go back. And now we want to go back to our drop down and we want to click on page. Now you see, it now takes us to our page wizard that gives us the ability to go ahead and start creating the name of our page. So keeping it consistent, we want to go ahead and type in new hire, okay? And as we're typing in new hire, we want to tab down. Again, this goes to our training. We have a training, new hire, our URL. And then if we want to put a description, we will put one down there for, we're just going to type in sample here, page. Okay. Now here is a very unique option that we have when you're creating a page. You have the ability to delay publishing and expire publishing. Now what this means is that if there's a page that you just want to make available for a certain time period, then you can decide when you want this page to be published. So if you click on delayed publishing, then you can say, I want this page to be published on this particular date at this particular time. And then I want to expire this page on this date and at this time. Or I can set up one of these options by selecting the radio buttons over here to be notified in a week or in a day, or don't notify me at all, just expire the page. Now, we're not going to do that, but it's just great to know that you have these options. Okay, we want to go ahead and click next. Now, again, we're going through the process of selecting our metadata. We have classifications for our metadata. If we want to go ahead and make something public, we would go and do it here and type public or private, or we can just leave it blank. And then we begin to type in our departments. If we want to go and select, this would be for the human resource department because we are talking about our new hires. We go ahead and click next. And then, of course, this is where we have our security. So we're not going to make any security changes here, but it's just, again, good to know that you are able to do that on a page. We're going to click next. And then we want to go and click next on our ownership. And when we get to step 5, you're going to see here it's going to ask you to select a template. Well, we remembered we made our selections of our templates on the previous page. So we're going to go ahead and select our template. So now you see we have these options here. Now notice you don't have the check boxes here. You have the radio buttons. So you can only select one. At this point, I want to go ahead and select the 2-column option, and I want to click select. It's very important that you do that and you don't just click on the template. This will just take you to the template so you can view it. But in terms of selecting, you have to select the radio button and hit select. Once you've done, it lets you know the template that you've selected and who is creating this page. All right. And then we would click create. Now you see here that our page has now been created. Now, the next step that I want to take you through is adding components to this page. So again, when we've talked about in previous sessions about how you would edit your home site by utilizing your components area, again, you look up here, we have the components, our properties, metadata, owners, and security, and our versions. We're simply going to go into components. Now, as you're working with a page, this area out here is grayed out. And the reason is that you're only making changes to the page. You're not making changes to the site. Okay, so we don't need anything to do with our site framework here. We don't need to add a breadcrumb or navigation or anything like that on the page because we're working on the page. So typically your place of residence on this page is going to be right here, where you're going to be looking at applications that you may want to use. You may want to use a news feed. So maybe you do want to grab the news feed and put it here. And then maybe you want to utilize some quick links. Maybe you have some quick links that you want to add to this page. And then, of course, if you want to add your formatted text, you can always do it here. Again, you can put as many components in a cell as you like, and maybe you want to add an image here, right? So you just want to add an image there, okay? So you have all these options available to you in adding your components to your page. So when we go to our news, of course, you know we have to go and click on edit to activate it. We see the option that we have here, and we can go and put in company news. And then from there, we want to say, now we're not going to put a heading there. We're going to leave it in a standard view, and we only want to do 2 articles at one time, all right, to be displayed. Click save. So now you see that you have your 2 articles that are going to be displayed on your page here. Now you have some formatted text. Now if I want to use some formatted text, I can simply be working on a document, maybe in Word or someplace like that, and I go ahead and copy my text in my Word document, and I copy my text here. Then I copy it, come back, and I want to paste it here. I can paste it as plain text if I want, but just so happen if I paste it, as regular, it's going to ask me, do I want to keep the Word format or do I want to clean it up so that it looks kind of like my site? I can say clean, and now my text is here. And then, of course, if I want to go and add an image, I can just hit browse, and then this takes me to a place where I can go and select all of my images. For example, go to my sample images here, and let's just do stock photos, and let's just do this for our HR. So we have, well, that's for sales. But again, you see the example that we have here, and then of course I have over here where I have my quick links. I click on quick links. I can go to my quick links section, and I can go and select the quick links that I want. Let's see, do I have anything in human resources? I do. So let me go here and my links for my human resources. Click on save. Now, when I clicked on save, that didn't save my page. That just saved the action that I did in the editor. Okay, I like what I have. Everything looks great. Again, we can show you how to preview your content. You can look at it and see all the changes that you've made. You like what you've added to it, and then you go back to continue editing. And then you're saying, yep, this is what I like. I want to move forward. You go through the process and you save. Again, these options that are available to you is save to your draft, and you can keep working. This is extremely helpful for creators. You don't want to go and create all this content and then something happens and you lose everything. So it's always ideal to save your draft and then go back and finish doing what you were doing. You also have the ability to save your draft and exit. Of course, maybe you leaving for the day, going to lunch, whatever. Always a great option to use that. You have publish to staging. Now, this grants you the ability to publish your content to a sandbox, if you will, where other contributors, not creators, other contributors, and even the editors can actually go and look at your content and make changes or suggestions, all right, because you published it to a staging format. And then you have your publish to live, which grants you the ability to publish directly to the site. We like what we have done. We want to go ahead and publish to live and say created a page and added components. Oops, added components. All right, and then we click save. And now our page has now been published to the site. Okay, this is how you go about adding a folder, adding subfolders, and how you go about creating a page. This concludes our training session for this module. For more information on GreenOrbit and its functionality, please visit our Learn site at learn.greenorbit.com. Thank you so very much, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.